Hi there! I'm gonna be doing these dumb-ass live skits before everyone on Fanfiction Now, so you can see my greasy pizza face beforehand every time. It's not really, I mean, my hair's greasy. Anyway, we're reading a fanfiction called From Ash to Death. It's about Skyrim, a popular RPG by Bethesda, Deep Silver, ZeniMax, and ID Software. What a great game, right? Check your facts. I got mine from Wikipedia. It's about the main character, Dave King. This is Drawfee from Games of Thrones. It's about a character who does stuff and kills things and isn't really important. So this is between the unimportant idiot character who shoots fireballs out of his face hole and the character who's a vampire from the really forgetful DLC that has crossbows in it, and that's all I remember. I killed a guy with a crossbow in that, and he didn't fly across the map. I wish it was more like Fallout, where you have the nail gun with the railway gun. Anyway, we're gonna be reading that. Not you. I'm gonna be reading that, and you're gonna be listening. So, enjoy, I guess. From the Ash of Death. This doesn't actually have anything sexy in it. It's actually, I learned it's immature for violence. Whoa. I mean, they like each other, but they don't do it. So this person did what we all did at about 10 years old and wrote a little, like, RP character sheet here. First, his character's race. Have Nord, have Imperial. Have everything else, because he needs to be super important and shit. Height, 6.2. Not 6 feet 2 inches. 6, .2. 2/10 of a feet. Dragonbone sword and Dragonbone shield in the weapons category, because, he needs to be super overpowered. Armor, light dragon scale armor. Personality. He tries to do the right thing, but he is very hateful. He never leaves prisoners, especially when the Thalmor are involved. His parents were murdered by an assassin hired by the Thalmor. He hates Thalmor with a passion. He respects and hates races equally. Just like me, I'm a white guy, but I'm racist towards white guys. It's funny. Alignment. He sides with the Stormcloaks because he thinks the Thalmor control the Empire. He also thinks that the Empire betrayed his father, who was a blade. Not one of the guys who helped and protected the Emperor was sword. His dad was a sword. He's have Nord, have Imperial, have sword. By letting the Thalmor hunt the Blades, he wiped out the Dark Brotherhood, but an assassin killed the Emperor after their defeat. He killed Parthenax, but he continued to regret it. History, which is basically what we got in the personality and alignment column, was history and backstory, not personality or alignment. We know he hates things, and it sucks. History. After the Great War, his father and mother ran to Skyrim and started a farm. After a failed Thalmor assassination attempt, when Quota was 11, they moved to elsewhere where they stayed until the Thalmor found and killed both of Quota's parents when Quota was 20. He moved to Skyrim to find an army to fight the Thalmor, and you probably know the rest. No, I don't. Please, tell me more. I'll wait. No, nothing else? All right. I'll just get on with the story then. No! Screamed Serena as Quota slammed into the pillar, crushing it into dust. Serena's father stood a few meters away in vampire lord form. He didn't have enough energy to float, and one of his wings was cut off. But he was standing, and Quota was lying in rubble, half dead. He had been on the receiving end of one of the Hakon's claws. Serena had mixed feelings about Quota. He had saved her from the tomb that she had been sealed away in for thousands of years. After that, they had both saved each other's lives more times than she could count. Count. In the beginning, she kept track so that she could pay him back and be done with him. But evenly, she stopped. So they're even now, I guess. Then they became friends. She saved his life, and he saved her not because of a mutual enemy, but because they cared for each other. He had been there for her when everyone else in her life had abandoned or used her. She didn't know that vampires could feel warm, but he made her feel warm. And her father was about to tear him limb from limb. She shot a lightning bolt at a bolt of lightning, at Harkon, hitting him in the chest. "Die, you dirty son of a bitch!" she screamed and shot an ice spike, impaling him in the stomach. He turned towards his daughter and transformed down to semi-human form. The only thing I regret is letting you have the honor of Malaga Ball's ritual. You are unworthy of such an honor, he yelled. Serana stopped of a second to register what he said. That ceremony where she was raped, Jesus Christ, by that horrible creature beside her mother, where her heart stopped beating and blood got cold. You call that an honor? She screamed and ran forward with her dagger. Clank! Dagger was blocked by Harkon's sword. Harkon slashed at her. Didn't he have his claws out? So why doesn't he need his sword now? When he turns to semi-human form, does he, his hands turned into swords? Harkon slashed at her, but she sidestepped and stabbed his side. He roared in pain and went at her with his teeth. He bit the arm she instinctively put up to block his teeth. He ripped his head up and brought a good portion of her arm muscle with him. Ooh, that's gruesome. That's gory. Wow. Whoa. Oh. She screamed in pain and fell on her back, clutching her arm. He rose up and brought his sword up ready to strike when a bolt of light impaled him in the chest. He dropped his sword and fell to his knees, the shaft of a glowing arrow impaling the right side of his chest. Serana looked behind him to see Quota Still on the ground, so we know his last name now, it's Still. On the ground, holding Ariel's bow, another arrow already struck. 1 fucking second here. Weapons! Dragonbone sword, Dragonbone shield. This motherfucker ain't got no fucking bow. He does not have a bow. Did he pull a bow out of his anus? Did he string the bow with his anus muscles? Is that why this story's immature? Anyway, in his eye I saw anger. Just the one eye. You know, well, the height thing is 6.2 is because he only got one eye. I don't want to explain it. You probably wouldn't understand. It's really complicated fanfiction equations, okay? His muscles were twitching, and he was glaring at Harkon, gripping his bow. I thought it was Ariel's bow. It's not his. Isn't Ariel's bow like a legendary weapon? It's called like Ariel's bow or something. I don't care. Serana grabbed her dagger from the Harkon's side, and he didn't protest. He was still alive, but he did not have the power to fight as the arrow drained his power. Wowzers. Serana held the dagger and sent it into Harkon's forehead, using all of her strength to bury it in his brain to the hilt. Oh, Jesus. His body didn't move. After a few seconds, the body dissolved into blood and ash, the dagger buried in his remains. Serana knelt beside her father's ashes and grabbed her dagger and went over to Quota, who was mending his leg with a healing spell. Are you okay? She asked, helping him on his feet. I should be asking you that, he said. He wasn't my father anymore, she replied. No, that, he said, pointing to her left arm. Harkon had bitten off much of her skin and muscle, and you could see teeth marks on her bone. She had been so driven on adrenaline that she had not felt much pain after she killed Harkon, but now her arm felt like it was on fire. Quota handed her a potion and she poured it on her arm, and it started to stop hurting. She wrapped her arm in a bandage and Quota stood up. They walked out of the chapel, leaning on each other for support and comfort. Thank you for watching. Please check out my other videos. They're also things. And if you want to watch some random-ass fanfiction, click them in the top right corner. If you want to watch a random-ass video, click in the bottom right corner. There might be annotations there.